It's okay, okay. Italy is okay. Croatia is okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3 test. Yeah, 3 minutes countdown. Hello from Germany. Hello, bud. Can you hear me? No pressure. Yes, loud and clear. Cool. Hope you practiced pronouncing chromatic aberration. Chromatic aberration. Okay, time is up. Let's get started. Hello everyone. We are live now. Thanks for joining me. I feel so excited to have all of you here on live. Especially thanks goes to Kendall team for making this webinar happen. First, let me briefly introduce today's topic and a little bit words about myself. As you see from the you have see from the slides, today's topic is to tell you how to squeeze the highest photo quality from tiny VR cameras. And today we are going to take Kindle QooCam as an example, and I will tell you why and all the technologies and all the skills that you will learn. And my name is Yu Qing. You can see me here. I'm a panorama hobbyist since 2009, and currently I'm a computational photography lover. And I have won 2018 Epson Panel Award Silver Medal in the session of VR 360. So that is a brief introduction of myself. And every time, every time when I post the beautiful 360 photos in Facebook, like immersive experience, almost everyone will ask the same question again and again. So what is a camera? Oh, amazing! How can you do this? How do you do this? That's impossible. That's amazing. Could you please share your workflow? That is the point of today's presentation. So I will show all of the stuff for you in these slides, in this webinar. So that is the reason why we have today's webinar. And my topic today is squeeze the highest photo quality from tiny VR cameras. And before we go to the webinar, I have played with many 360 cameras before, and recently one of my favorite cameras is QooCam, which I will also be the example camera today. But you should never worry about that, because all the technology, all the techniques and skills I share today, from shooting to post-production, they can apply to all the 360 cameras you have. And topic for today is how to squeeze the highest photo quality from tiny VR cameras. It's like a magic, in fact, but it really happened. And I think before we dive deep into the webinar, I would like to share with you some of the great 360 photos with you, all shoot with QooCam. And after this webinar, I bet most of you could also achieve the photos like this high quality and even better. I think even better, some of you, with my slides and with your technology and with your tiny 360 cameras. So now let's go to the go to here. I will share it. I can see the first one is, you can see a few days ago I was boating cruising on the river, and I took the panorama at the very best moment when my boat dived deep into the water, and the very best moment. You can see the waters, the waves, and the beautiful sceneries all around the place. I have also ever put my camera into the fire, so you can see it's very hot, and it really happened. This is me. And next one I can show you is when I was cruising on a boat in Yangtze River in the city of Chongqing, China. The boat is cruising very fast, but with tiny little VR cameras, we could still capture this very best moment without blur and also in high quality. Yes. What if we have some big movement, like the two birds? They are flying away, but this very best moment. And also, they were flying in a cage, which we cannot put our DSLR inside the cage, but we can put our tiny VR cameras through the holes, and we could capture the very best moment of the two birds. And I will show you all of you all the technologies I use, how to do this photo in my workflow session. So it's like magic, right? It's like magic, but it's not. It's not like a magic. And you see that the pigment were moving very fast. How can you capture the moment and achieve high quality panoramas? What is the magic? What is that magic, right? That is a key point of today's webinar. I will tear down the magic, reveal the secrets behind the scenes, and tell you how to achieve the best moment shot. And more importantly, I will show you my complete workflow hand in hand and step by step. Okay, let's dive deep into the webinar. This is the agenda for today. What we want to tell you is basically RAW+ DNG8 super resolution workflow and so on. So first of all, what is RAW+? Many of you will ask, what is RAW+? The RAW+ is a smart photo stacking software with reference image. A smart photo stacking software with reference image, and this on the left is the intro screen of the software. On the right it's the icon of the software. So you should get familiar with this magical software. It will help you improve the imaging quality dramatically. The great features of the RAW+, Canon RAW+, is that it is a photo stacking software. And different from Photoshop, it is an irregular photo stacking software. It is compatible with most cameras and could dramatically reduce noise, especially in low light. At the same time, it could help you increase the dynamic range and without a blur or other artifacts that the normal photo stacking software will have. So that are the great features of Canon RAW+. Why? Some of the features might sound weird, so how could you do that? Why? What is the reason? Next, I will tell you some fundamental principles behind this magical software. In photo stacking, we usually put the averaging algorithm. So RAW+ will perform averaging in the photo stack, and the photo stack was operating based on the reference image. And what is the reference image? I will show you later on. And after the pixel level alignment in the photo stack, in your software and your cameras could deal with camera movement because of the pixel level alignment and the reference image. At the same time, with averaging algorithm, it could dramatically reduce the noise and increase the dynamic range. So what is the reference image? In this photo, you can see that the image on the top in the red square, this one on the top is the reference image, and the file number is limited to 16 images in each stack, and the number 2 to number 8, these 7 images will perform pixel level alignment against the first image, and after the photo averaging algorithm, the reference images, imaging quality got dramatically improved. So that is some of the fundamental principles behind the Canon RAW+, and I will show you the result later on. To make the most of the Canon RAW+, usually you need to take 8 DNG shots or even more in a sequence. Shoot like a burst or shoot in time lapse or manually. And these 8 DNGs will look like this. And they may look like the same, but the noise in different images, the noise is different. So when you stacking the 8 images together, you will achieve a high quality with a burst of RAW or with a sequence of RAW, usually 8 to 16 frames. You will get a merge. It's high quality 16-bit new raw data, and with some fine-tuning parameters applied to this high quality raw data, you will finally achieve this final high quality pictures with your operations. So that is the very simple workflow behind the Kendo Raw Plus and some very fundamental principles of this magical software. Here is some examples. You can see this before and after. On the right is before. On the left is after. You can see I shot this image at night with ISO 100, but even with ISO 100, there's noise. You can see here, and with the DNG8 shot and the Raw Plus denoise, you can see the noise is reduced, and the imaging quality is improved. We take a closer look at this. You can compare with left and right. You will see the big improvement. Here is some more examples. You can see with the help of Kendo Raw Plus, it could help you recover more information from the dark. On the left, you can see is a single DNG shots with a just exposure. There's so much noise in the dark. But on the right, the Raw Plus will help you gain much more details with the same just exposure and with a higher signal to noise ratio. So the Raw Plus will help you recover more information from the dark. There's another example. You can see compared before the left and the right, before and after. You can see will help you recover more information from the dark. And what is the most magical about this software is that it could deal with camera movement or even moving objects. You can see that the people rushing out to the metro station and with the photo stacking in Photoshop with averaging algorithm, you can see although the imaging quality got dramatically improved, but the leaves, the people got blurred and the leaves are blurred. Although we have a high quality picture, but we lose so much details in the people and the leaves. But with Kendo Raw Plus, let's hold a second. You see, with Kendo Raw Plus, you will achieve such result with high quality pictures and at the same time retain all the moving objects. So watch out. You can take a closer look at this. Now it is a high quality image, but the moving objects are still there and they are crystal clear and sharp. That is magic, right? That is magic. You can see before and after. Before and after. The same high quality, but with all the moving objects still there. Yeah. So the same technology could also be compatible with consumer level or professional 360 cameras, because this is a very good way of improving your images, no matter it is a normal shot or 360 shot. So it could be applied to 360 cameras and with so much potential. Here is a single DNG 360 photos. You can see the people there, there's so much noise, and in the dark there's so much noise, and be careful with the leaves, there's so much noise. So this single DNG VR shots, there's noise everywhere. And with the DNG8, we'll talk about this later. With the sequence of DNG VR shots stacked together, we will achieve the quality of this resolution. This is before, and is after. After the Raw Plus, you will achieve a much higher imaging quality here and there. Here is before, and is after. Yeah, before and after. Here is another before and after, right? Before and after. So if everywhere, every detail of your VR shots got dramatically improved, so the imaging quality, the immersive experience will improve a lot in the final result. So that is the first time when I got to know the magic behind the Kendo Raw Plus. It's like magic. It's weird. I feel even is it weird? It is possible, but it's really happened. It is possible, and it is a free software. is compatible with all the cameras, no matter it is the 360 cameras or a DSLR, even your cell phone, as long as you can shoot in RAW, right? Yeah, that's the funny faces, but that's my feelings. So let's make a summary of RAW Plus. It will help you to improve your image quality to get a low noise image, increase to get high dynamic range. It works like magic, especially in low light situations, and it even works perfectly well with faster moving subject in your image. So that is magical, and I have already shown you here, right? So next up, I will tell you DNG8. The DNG8 is the DNG8 is quite amazing. So if you want to take the most of Canon RAW Plus, you need a sequence of DNG shots. You need to take a sequence of DNG shot at the highest efficiency, the shortest time. So DNG8 solved this problem. It is a revolutionary way of taking high quality VR shots, and now only QCam has these killer features inside the tiny little body. So next I will tell you what is DNG8. So what is DNG8? To tell more about it, let's dive deep into DNG8. To have a better understanding of DNG8, you need to learn the difference between taking 8 DNG shots and a DNG8 shots. They are totally different. Let me explain. You need to know the difference between single DNG and DNG8. Consider what happened on single DNG shots. You know, normally you push the shutter button, but the camera will do lots of stuff for you at backstage. Normally the camera will finish the exposure and transfer the data to the high-speed RAM. We call it caching. And after you transfer the data from the RAM to the flash or micro SD card, it's saving. So caching and saving is invisible for you, and the exposure is the exposure time you set on your camera. So there are 3 steps after every single DNG shots: exposure, caching, and saving. So normally, if you want to get 8 DNG shots, for example, 8 DNG shots, consider what happened. If you want to achieve 8 DNG shots, you take one by one: exposure, caching, saving, exposure, caching, saving. Repeat again and again, 8 times, right? That will take a lot of time. And what more importantly, that you see that the exposure, they got separated by caching and saving. So the exposure nearby got separated by caching and saving, and the caching and saving will take you a lot of time normally in your sensor. So for a photographer, you know, like us, for a photographer, normally what time cost for a photographer to take a sequence of 8 DNG shots? The time is 8 exposure time, 7 caching time, and 7 saving time. It's a huge amount of time. So and what's more, the nearby exposure was they got separated by caching and saving. Yeah, so it's too slow, right? Normally caching and saving will take you 1 or 2 seconds, normally 2 seconds or even more in your camera. So that's why you push the shutter button, and it will take you quite amount of time, so you can take next shot. So it's too slow, and you know, the exposure got separated. So if there are moving objects, they are faster moving objects, they are running out of your frame. So your image stacking, your photo stacking will fail, right? You can never make any pixel level alignment because the object is not in every photos. So that's bad for your improvement in photo quality. So not only is too slow, but also it is bad for your photo stacking, which means you cannot improve your imaging quality. So consider what happened on a DNG8 shots. You know, DNG8 solved this problem in elegant, efficient way. You know, exposure, caching, and saving. Let's see what on earth is happening underlying DNG shots. We push one button, push the shutter button, and what happened? You know, it's like this. It's not done one by one, but it's like a pipeline mechanism. It's a pipeline mechanism. It makes a fully potential of the hardware and the software. They got an integrated design. So it's there's an underlying pipeline mechanism between the 8 shots. They got in a parallel way, right? So time cost for a photographer like you and me, right, is 8 times exposure time. 8 times exposure time, right? We skipped every caching and saving time, but at the same time, the camera, the hardware, software, they work together to help you to finish caching and saving, invisible. So you don't need to care about caching and saving. You just push the button, and after 8 times exposure time, the exposure is already done, which means you can leave. You can leave now, while leave the camera was saving the data to your SD card. That will take quite a lot of time, but your exposure time is one by one. They will never got separated with a single DNG8 shot. Let's take some examples, right? Consider we have 1 second exposure, 1 second caching, and 1 second saving. You know, the caching and saving time are normally constant in your hardware, and if your exposure time is faster, like 0.25 seconds, now the time cost for you is 8 times 0.25, which is 2 seconds. Let's take it faster, 0.1 second. Now we have 0.8 seconds in total, so which will save you quite amount of time to get a sequence of DNG shots, and only with 1 click on the shutter button, without click 8 times or trigger the time lapse, right? So the DNG8 solve the problems of getting a sequence of DNG shots in a very elegant way. So it is very, very fast, because you only need 8 exposure time sequentially. And although the subject is moving between frames, but you know the exposure was done one by one, in a continuous way. So the movement for the object is limited, which can be compensated in Candle Raw Plus with pixel level alignment and reference imaging technology. So it's great for stacking, even if you were shooting a faster moving object, like you were cruising on a boat, or you're shooting 2 birds that are flying very fast. You know, that is the trick here. So only some sort of photos could only be achieved with DNG8 mode, but not with any other mode right now. So that is the magic which underline inside the DNG8. I hope you could understand. So which one should you choose? You know, if you want the most efficient way to get a sequence of DNG shots, DNG8 is at the moment is definitely the best choice. But if you're using other cameras, you could also achieve a sequence DNG shots with the time-lapse mode. You know, time-lapse, you can choose JPEG plus DNG in time-lapse mode, but you have quite a lot of interval time plus caching and saving. And also you can push the shutter button 8 times, one by one. Yes, so there are totally 3 ways of achieving a sequence of DNG shots. So among all of them, DNG8 is the best. Inevitably, it is the best. So how to shoot in DNG8? It's very simple. You know, take QooCam as an example. You just choose the DNG8 mode in the QooCam app, and this white shutter button. You push the shutter button, and all the pipeline is done. You don't have to worry anything else. Push the shutter button, and after 8 exposure time, it's over. It's done, right? It's finished. Here I have a screenshot video for you to show you how to switch to DNG8 and how to shoot in DNG8. Here we are now in the program app. You can scroll left and right to switch to the DNG8 mode. You can see here, switch to this mode, and choose menu settings, ISO 100, and you can see the live view is exactly what you will have in the final image. And you can switch to the you can switch to DNG8 mode. And what fascinates me most is that only in DNG8 mode, the live preview is precisely what you will get. So the live preview, what you see is what you get. So that is another great feature inside the Canon CoolCam.
That is the magic of DNG8. And that is how you should take DNG shots with the CoolCam app.
You see, and what you see is what you get. What you see is what you get in DNG8 mode with long exposure, right? So let's continue our webinar. So what you should do before shooting DNG8? You know, shooting in DNG8 is super easy. You push the shutter button and it's done. But to achieve a high quality photos and even a great photos, you need to do lots of preparations before shooting in DNG8. Let me explain. So if possible, always shoot at ISO 100, especially in low light situations if you want to get the highest imaging quality, and set the manual exposure as quickly as possible, because sometimes the time matters. And as we have mentioned before, what you see is what you get in the DNG8 mode. So live preview is precisely what you will achieve after you take a DNG8 shots. You don't have to switch to JPEG mode to take shots, preview, adjusting, and shoot again. No, you don't have to do that, because in the live preview, it's exactly what you will have. So if you are satisfied with a live preview, just push the button and you are done. And you should be careful with the stitching line, especially in some the tiny two lenses, double lenses VR cameras. Be careful with the stitching line. Never put the people in the stitching line, because the closer you are near the stitching line, you have some issues in the stitching. And always keep your camera stable, especially in low light, because in low light you need long time exposure. And if you want to achieve a crystal clear and sharp images, you have to keep your camera super stable. Yeah. And sometimes I recommend you hide yourself. If you want to give your audience, your viewer, the best immersive experience, so the camera, the gear, the photographer should be invisible. You should hide yourself, your gear, your shadows. Sometimes I remember that Darren Lacey takes some photos. They hide yourself, but he didn't hide his shadows. Hiding your shadows is very important. It's also very important to hide everything that is not related with your photos, in order to give your viewer, your audience, the best immersive experience. That is the point. And you can see my photos, I always hide myself and all of my gears, my shadows, every artifacts that I will have before I take the photos. What you should do after shooting DNG, because shooting DNG is super easy, and make preparations are not that hard, and there are something that you should do after shooting DNG8. And currently, if you take the DNG8, you first thing you should do is to calm down, because in the CoolCam app, in the cell phone, not to say the Android and iPhone, the DNG files are invisible. You can never review the photos once you get the shot. And what you should do is get a card reader and copy the DNG sequence to your PC, and import to Kernel Raw Plus, and choose the one as the best as a reference image, and hit the render button, and you could work like me, get a cup of coffee. Cup of coffee. After you have the cup of coffee, then the Raw Plus will help you to render all the files for you. So that is all the stuff about DNG8. So let's take the example, take it easy. This is our photography workflow. So what is the DNG8 work harmoniously with Raw Plus is that it will give you the head start in the photography workflow. So it's not the final line of the photography workflow. It is just a starting point. So DNG8 works together with Raw Plus. Will give you the head start in the photography workflow, and you have to more further fine tuning on your high quality DNG files. Here's an example of my fine tuning in Adobe Camera Raw or any other developing softwares. You just play with the sliders, take back and forth until you are satisfied with your result, right? Yeah. So the topic that we have already tell you what is Raw Plus, what is DNG8, and how the DNG8 could work harmoniously with Raw Plus, right? Yeah. Next one. Today the Kernel Coolcam just released a very new features. They call it the super resolution. It released today, and this feature works great for me, and it will help you to boost your imaging quality once again with the help of machine learning or the artificial intelligence, because you have already boosted your imaging quality with Raw Plus and DNG8. Now, with super resolution algorithm, you can boost your imaging quality once again with the help of AI. What is a super resolution? Let's take it simple. A super resolution will help to make your image look crystal clear and crystal sharp. Based on machine learning algorithm, it will help you to achieve a high-res image from a low-res image. So it's like a function that's carried from the low-res to the high-res. So it will boost your imaging quality once again. And to tell you more about it, the super resolution is not like the bicubic or bilinear algorithm that will just jamming more pixels of your image. Super resolution is not just jamming more pixels, but it will at the same time recover more high frequency information from the low frequency information. So not only will achieve a high res image from a low res image, but at the same time you will recover more details from the original photos. So your imaging quality got improved at the area of high frequency level. Yeah, I will show you some before and after comparison. Yeah. So this is before. I was taking a cave. It's before, and it's after. You can see in the high frequency it got much clearer. And I will share my slide. I will share my slide with you, and you can compare at pixel level. Yeah, at the pixel level by yourself. Yeah, this is before. This is before, and this after. Right? This is before. This after. Yes, it's before and after. This is, we take a closer look at this. This is before, and it's after. You can see this got the image quality got dramatically improved, right? Here's before and after. Before, after. We take a very closer the pixel level You can see that's the difference. This is before and after. Before and after. If you can't see the difference, I will give the raw image for you, and you can compare by yourself. So next, I will show the complete workflow behind the scenes. Now I will switch back to my PC and show you the complete workflow of my VR photography. Here, I will switch back to my PC at here. Yeah, now you can see it is my my PC. Here, you can see when you're shooting DNG8, we took only one example because the time is limited for us. Here, you can see it is a sequence of 8 DNG shots on the QCam on the burst DNG8 mode. Burst shot, you can see the birds are flying, right? And we have very fast shutter speed. Now we can just select one of the photos and send directly to the Camera Raw Plus, and it will say auto import files from the same shot. You can click on confirm, and it will automatically recognize the sequence of DNG8 shots and take it to the imaging stack, right? Oh, sorry. Now drag and drop to the Raw Plus, click on confirm, right? And now the #1 image is a reference image, but you can see I'm not satisfied with the #1 image because the bird. This one has already landed. It is landed, and it's still flying. They are not that beautiful, right? And there's noise. You can see. Take a closer look at this. So in my opinion, the #7. You can see #7. This bird is perfect, while this one is not that perfect. And the #6, and there's #5, #8, right? And the #8. This bird is perfect, while this is not perfect, and this bird is perfect. So we can make the photo stack once again on the same sequence, right? I can drag it again, and this time we can click on cancel. So we can generate 2 high quality DNG shots from one DNG8 mode, one DNG8. Now we can select as we have mentioned, one of the reference image is the #8, and the other reference image is the #7. So this one with drag and drop to the top, and #8 is the reference image. The next one we can drag and drop the #7 to the top, and now the #7 was set as a reference image. And we click on render. It will help us render a high quality 60-bit DNG shots. And here I have already rendered for you to save some time. A KD raw, you can see that right here. You can see this one, right? This one. This you can see the bit depth is 16 now, and the noise got dramatically reduced. You can compare in more detail of these shots. You can see here, especially in low light, right? Here is one, and you can see the noise is gone, and with some fine tuning in Adobe Camera Raw, we can bring back much more details with the help of digital developing in the Adobe Camera Raw. And this is the single DNG shot. We can take a closer look at this. There's the noise among the birds. You can see clearly. And this one I have already done some fine-tuning stuff. We can set on default, and you can see it more clearly. And the noise got dramatically reduced. And on this one, there's noise everywhere. Although I have shot at ISO 100 because the sensor is so small. Here you can see. And what is the magic is that the bird is still there, and at the same time, this bird is also, the noise of the bird is also got reduced. Compare with here, we can compare with this one. Yeah, this one, the birds, and this one. Yeah, right? This one and this one. You can see the difference, right? Before, after, before, after, right? The bird is still there, but the noise is removed. And with some very simple very simple fine-tuning, select an auto. You can play with your sliders as long as you want, and you can even make preset as yourself. And like QCam, I have a QCam preset, I have a GoPro preset, I have everything. And you can develop this image. And once you have done this one, you can select the synchronize, and then you click on save images, and you can save as the JPEG or the TIFF files. In this case, I will have in the Photoshop, I will blend the two photos together to get a better shot. But I will skip this directly to the QCam in the QCam Studio. Next time, after the fine tuning on the shots, we dive into the stitching part, right? Here's the stitching part. Yes. In the QCam Studio, we can stitch that photo. Now drag and drop this photo here, directly in the latest version of QCam Studio, right? And you can correct the horizon here, and always check. Please in English. Always check color correction on and off to choose the best one that meet your standard. In this case, you can see when I click on color correction, I can see clearly there's a color difference here, in this place here. When I click on off, maybe the color is more like what I want, and I always put the interesting part at the center of my image, and click on add to queue. Next, I will show you what that's where the super resolution works. And in the resolution part, normally you have 4K resolution. Now you click on this, you can see here 8K with SR. Click on 8K SR. The format, you can click on JPEG or PNG. You can get a bigger file with PNG, but this demonstration will output in JPEG files. And now you can generate 8K JPEG files directly from the QCam Studio. It's the latest version of the QCam Studio. It's 1.4 maybe. It just released today, and render selected. And after after a period of time, you have plenty of time to enjoy another drip of coffee. And usually, if you select on super resolution, it might be slower than the normal resolution because there are some artificial intelligence algorithms running at the backstage. Here, it's already done. And to click on confirm. And now we have in the folder of KD output, we have this 8K photos here, right? 8K. We just render it. This is what I rendered a few days before. This is the photos. We generate 8K. And this photo, first we combine DNG8 with the RAW Plus to reduce the noise, and the second step, we apply the super resolution algorithm to the final output and to boost the pixel, and at the same time we retain more details from the image, so the image will also look sharp. It will not look blurred like you do normal resize, the upscale. But in this way, we upscale the image, but the image is still sharp. It have even more detail compared with the normal shot. And next, with the help of the panorama viewer, you can preview the panorama effect at your. This time I use FSP viewer because this is the panorama viewer that support color management, and you can see your images after the QCam Studio. And that is not the final stage of the photography workflow, because you could still apply even more fine-tuning on this image and make it more vivid, with more sharpness, more details, even with some advanced Photoshop tricks. Now, that's not included in this webinar because the time is limited, but I will tell you that you can get even more post-processing on this panorama image and to make it more vivid. And after that, you can upload to Facebook and share with your friends. But the Facebook would only recognize the photos that with active files. That here I will use the active fixer to help you fix the image, and to add some metadata, to this. The panorama projection metadata. This is equirectangular, and you drag and drop the image to the active fixer, and click on Add Metadata, and the software will help you to add the metadata automatically. And after that, you could upload this one, but not this one. This one directly to Facebook, and that is the end of the workflow. Right? So here is a complete workflow of my behind my photos, and I will switch back to my slides. Here, yes, I have already shown you my my workflow, and is everything, every tricks, magic and tricks behind the scenes. We took a very short period of time because we cannot do all the stuffs very precisely. But I will show you. I have already show you all the steps behind my 360 photos. Next, to make a summary of the workflow here, to make it as simple as follows. So what we have see is that we can make a summary as follows. So first, you shoot in DNG8 mode. If you don't have a QCam or you have other cameras, you can shoot in time-lapse or you can shoot manually. And next, you put the sequence of DNG shot in the photo stacking software, the Candle RAW Plus. And always remember to choose the right image as a reference image. Third, with some fine-tuning after you output with the KD RAW. I always call it KD RAW. It's generated by the Candle RAW Plus. In fact, it is a DNG 16-bit DNG image. And you should always retain all the EXIF files, because once you lose the EXIF files at the output, this image might not be recognized by your studio software. And after that, you stitch the image in the stitching software with super resolution to make the highest photo quality, and make even more fine-tunings on the final output image. And at the last stage, you use the EXIF fixer. I always use this magic software to fix the metadata and post your final shot on Facebook. So this is the basic workflow behind every one of my shots. Every shot you see on Facebook, you see, wow, they are always generated via this very simple workflow. It seems like a magic, but there's no magic at all here. There's no magic. I will tell you, there's no magic at all. But this workflow, you need patience. you need step by step. You need precisely tuning every pixel in your image, and you should always keep practicing again and again with trials and errors. So finally, I think you will achieve much better photos than me in the near future after this webinar. So always patience and keep practicing, training yourself hard. There's no magic. There's no magic, right? That is my total workflow here. Finally, let's make some brief summary of this webinar, because we have already have 15 minutes till now, right? It's quite a lot of time. So all the magic I show you, RAW+, the DNG8, or the super resolution, the complete workflow, all together, how they work harmoniously together. The DNG8 combined with RAW+ and output with super resolution, with even more fine-tunings in the photography workflow, and finally you achieve that very best immersive shots. And once you share with your friends, you will have lots of happiness, right? Happiness. You feel really happy when you share it with your photos. To also make a brief summary of this webinar. So till the end of this webinar, let's make a brief summary and make some overview for the future. So all the tricks, all the magic I have shown you today is about computational photography, and as I have shown you that I am a computational photography lover. So the RAW+, the DNG8, the super resolution, they are all part of the computational photography, and even the VR photography, virtual reality photography, 360 photography is also part of computational photography. So in the area of computational photography, you should learn much more than before. You should master all the more you master the computational photography tricks, the more you will achieve with a camera. Although it is a tiny little VR cameras, but we can achieve amazing result with the help of computational photography. Apart from the RAW+, the DNG8, the super resolution, there's much more tricks you could apply, such as the HDR, the high dynamic range blending, anti-ghost, the machine learning. And if you are familiar with Photoshop, there's even a frequency separation technique, luminosity mask technique that is most like a magic in Photoshop. All this, you have so much to learn to improve yourself in the area of computational photography. So maybe you should not running after the giant cameras. The giant cameras is super strong and super stable, but at the same time, tiny little 360 VR cameras is also very capable of delivering amazing shots, especially at this moment with RAW+, DNG8, and super resolution. No matter which camera you use on QCam, any other cameras, and I have already shown you the complete workflow. So all of us could achieve amazing result with the help of computational photography tricks. So yeah, so that is the point of today's webinar. So it's not just to show you the magic, but it also, I'm calling to you that you should make the most of your cameras you already have. You don't have to buy lots of cameras, but you should make the most of your cameras in the area of computational photography. So yes, that's all of today's webinar. Next we have enter another session, the Q&A sessions, and thanks for all of you here to join the live. I'm really happy, and also special thanks for the Kendall team to make this webinar happen and to make this all the amazing technologies for the computational photography. So that's all for the webinar. Next we have some times for question and answers. That's all for the tutorial or the webinar. Thanks a lot. Any question? So I can take some time to answer your questions. We should learn more about this, I think, because it's definitely a new way of taking shots, especially VR shots. Here's a question from Johnson Lee. Is it mean cannot work for night shot? It is because the night sight need exposure more time. For example, for taking Milky Way, the single need to expose at least 30 seconds. How can you take 8 photos with enough light? Take here for the you can take take Milky Way with point and shoot camera because they have very giant aperture, like f1.8 or f2.0, 2.2. They are very big aperture. So, and with a little bit higher ISO, maybe ISO 200, 400, or even 1600, maybe you don't have to take a 30-second shot. And even if you take 30-second shot, I think the Milky Way is not moving that fast. So you should take experiment and to see what the result will be. Because I have never tried to shoot the Milky Way. If I have ever tried this subject, I will share my result with you. And I suggest you take the shot. I think it is possible to take 8 photos. And if it is not possible to take 8 photos, you can take less. 4, 5, 6, 7. You can also achieve very good result. But at least more than 4 DNG shots. The more the better. I hope it is helpful. It is help you to the answers. Well, good. Any other questions? I find an example how the RAW Plus help the Milky Way, and you can also combine the RAW Plus with your very strong DLSR. You don't have to always use tiny VR cameras. You can also use very giant full frame cameras combined with RAW Plus. That's okay. It's okay. I hope it helps, and you should take experiment by yourself and see the result, final result. And if any other body have ever had the experience, please share with Johnson Lee. I think it is possible, but I have never tried it. Question from Data Home. How often in your photos did you hide yourself, and how often did you ease yourself in post? Here. Question from, how often in your photos did you hide yourself? Almost every photo I will hide myself. I use the tripod, selfie stick, Wi-Fi remote control, so that although I'm invisible, but I can still manage to control every parameter of my VR cameras. So I will hide myself in every shot. But if I will enjoy my meal with my friends, and I was one of the subjects in my photo, I will not hide myself, but I will hide the camera and the shadow of the camera, and I will ease them in Photoshop. And in the latest version of Photoshop CC, you have interactive editing, like immersive way. You can easily ease out. Just try yourself. I hope it helps. How often did you ease yourself? Not only you should ease yourself, but you should also ease every equipment and their shadows. From Damelisi, is it best to tweak the photo in circle mode or unwrapped? Is it best to tweak photos in circle mode or unwrapped? Could you explain what is in circle mode or unwrapped? You mean the double fisheye lenses, a double fisheye image, or the equirectangular images? To Darenesi, could you repeat your questions in more detail? Is it best to tweak the photo in circle mode or unwrapped. And as I have shown in my workflow, I will perform fine-tuning bones on the double fisheye image and also the final unwrapped version. Lin Frapper has a question. Where were you around the cage? How did you hide yourself since you were holding the camera? Here. Here I can I will show you Lin Frapper. Here. This is for you. As I can show you the photos here. Here. I was hiding here. You can see there is a wooden panel here. I was hiding behind this wooden panel, and the Coolcam was here in this. If you take a closer look at, you can see there's lose some imaging quality on the edge of the fisheye, and the only artifacts is here. You can sorry. Here. Here's for Lin Frapper. This one. I put my cameras. I was standing behind this wooden panel, and I was putting my Coolcam through this pole. You can see I lose some image quality here because it's on the edge of the circle, and here, yeah, it's easy. And any other questions? Can answer as many questions as you have. And Lin Frapper. Also, you can also use Hungry Stitch software to take 2-360 and mask yourself. Yes, you are definitely right, Anthony Lim. Yeah, but it will make your workflow a little bit more complex. It is possible, in fact, and if you really can't hide yourself. You can take double shots at different orientation and mask yourself in Photoshop. That sort of advanced photography tricks. That's not for everyone, but for some advanced Photoshop users. From Zeko Solik, where were you around a cage? Yes, I think I have already answered this question for Lin Frapper. The camera was mounted on the ceiling. Can't see the pictures. You can see. Riva Thomas, how to make disappearing tripod footprint? Here. It's I will send the link for you. You can use the content-aware fill in Photoshop in the interactive editing environment in Photoshop. Just like a normal photo, you make a circle around the tripod and press Shift F5, select the content-aware, and push the Enter button, and it's gone. You can try yourself. And if you need some tutorial, I will send you more tutorial for the Photoshop. So it is very simple Photoshop trick for disappearing the tripod footprint. And yes, there's another very good software called Touch Retouch. This is an Android version and iOS version. In the latest version of Touch Retouch, it has interactive patching tool. It will also make a nadir patch. I think you mean nadir patch. Nadir patch is a classic problem in panoramic photography. You can make an easy nadir patch on your cell phone with the help of Touch Retouch. I can touch Retouch. Did anyone ever trip over your camera model? I mean, especially in a big city. Many people walk by after we hide ourselves. What was the range of distance in the app? The range of distance is the range of Wi-Fi remote control, usually within 10 meters. Data home. Did anyone ever trip over your? Yeah. I always travel with a monopod and a camera, normal you can see selfie stick cameras and a mini tripod. Especially in big city, many people walking. Okay, so what was the range distance of the app? 10 meters, within 10 meters. Can we take different exposure PNG photos and change each image to the same numbers, the same in DNG, then render in RAW+? I have never tried it, but I think maybe you want to take advantage of the bracket exposure of some other cameras and make photo stacking in RAW+. You can make an experiment, but theoretically, all the photos in the RAW+ should be on the same exposure time, because only on the same exposure time, the same settings, the sensor will have the same response. That is theoretically in a mathematical world, you will denoise have the best denoise result. But I have never tried different exposure photos. But the RAW+ does not support PNG. I think you misspelled. It's DNG, not PNG. Well, I recommend you use the same exposure, because theoretically, it is theoretically right. And the C2V have full manual mode for night mode, but no raw files. Yeah. Yes, but for Johnson Lee, but Z1 has raw format. Also, only can we take different exposure PNG? Yeah, I have already answered this question. You should try yourself, but I have never tried, and it's not PNG. It's DNG shots, not PNG. Darren Lacey, what memory card do you use? I use the fastest card, maybe the SanDisk Extreme Pro, 64 gigabyte. SanDisk Extreme Pro, 64 gigabyte. But if you will always take photos, you might not should always choose the fastest card. But you want to take 4K shots or videos, you need the card that's quick, the reading and the writing speed as quickly as possible. But if you are taking photos, you don't have to choose the fastest card. I think, but I always choose the fastest card, considering its speed, reliability. Yeah. And my size is, I have two 64 gigabyte, and one is for backup. So always have plan B when you are shooting outside, because you should never miss any shots. That's very precious in your life. Always have plan B. Corey Schubert, when I save my DNG plus 8 files out of RAW+ after working it on Bridge, and I have saved all the metadata, the JPEG files. Yeah, for Corey Schubert, JPEG files. I think this is very tricky. I think I should push the Coocam team that the JPEG file is not supported, but the JPEG file is supported. But the JPEG is supported. It's weird. I think it's a little bit weird. Yeah, you should rename. Rename it to the JPG, and it will work. It will not work for JPEG, but for JPG it will work. Any other questions? I hope it helps. Now you can enjoy a good night's sleep. Yeah, I would like to answer the questions and take a sleep. It doesn't matter. So yes, Darren Lacey is right. The TIF is not support, but TIFF is support. This is weird. Any other questions? Thanks for everyone. We will email the PPT later so you can review it again. If you have any other questions, please leave in the comment area. We will answer it later. Yeah. So thanks everybody for coming to this webinar, and for more of the problem questions we can answer it later, and send to the public. Randy Kosick, do you have any editing recommendations for 360 video? Honestly speaking, I'm not a 360 video expert, so I highly recommend you ask this question to 360 video expert, because I'm not so good at 360 video. Honestly speaking, I'm very sorry for this question. Darren Lacey, use the tripod to find a better hiding place. Thank you, Hips. Thanks everybody. I hope it is helpful, and I hope everybody could take the advantage of RAW Plus DNG8 super resolution, and even every one of your VR cameras. And our goal is to take great shots and share it with everybody, right? Yeah. To take the most of your cameras, and to take the most of the computational photography. Do you have a similar workflow for 3D? If you were shooting VR 180 photos, you can also apply the RAW Plus DNG8 and the Super Res. And I have already posted some 3D photos on Facebook. You can search, and you will find my result. Thank you, chap. Will this video be available for later viewing? Thanks for this webinar, very helpful. Of course. This for you, Lin Frappier. This I was recording the whole webinars besides Q&A sessions, and I will help. I will send to the link to the Facebook or YouTube, so that you can watch it again and again. I hope you can watch it again and again with my slides, and you will find it is really magical. Yes, for sharing 3D photos in full effect in VR, sign up. On a side note, why Android can upload? Okay. So that's all for today's webinar and Q&A sessions. And thanks again. And we will post the webinar online later on. Thanks everybody. Bye.